At $4 million, Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin is the most expensive record ever sold. The insane price is on account of the fact that just one copy of the album actually exists. But did you know that more than 30 years before, another artist pulled off a similar stunt? In 1983, electronic music pioneer Jean-Michel Jarre created a one-off album as a statement against the commercialization of music. Following the live destruction of its master plates, the album's only copy was auctioned for a record price to an unlikely but most well-deserving buyer. This is the remarkable story of music for supermarkets. Jean-Michel Jarre is a living legend. Along with synth gods like Vangelis and Kraftwerk, he was one of the major forces of the electronic music revolution of the 1970s. Not only that, just a handful of Jarre's other amazing feats include being the first Western artist to perform in communist China, holding several records for the most attended concerts, and popularizing arguably the coolest instrument ever, the laser harp. The guy seems to have done it all. In the early 80s, Jarre was on top of the world after gaining fame with Oxygen, the groundbreaking album that unexpectedly sold millions of copies.
C'est lui qui est en tête de tous les succès.
Together with his famous wife, actress Charlotte Rampling, Jarre was living the good life as a young, handsome musician in Paris, surrounded by the elites of the art scene. One day, in early 1983, Jarre was approached by a few of his artist friends to provide background music for an upcoming supermarket-themed exhibition and auction. Happy to help out his friends, Jarre accepted the challenge and started to work on his new project. Sometime during recording, however, a thought occurred to him. Since the music could also count as a work of art, why not press only one copy to be auctioned with the rest of the paintings?
I've got this idea to produce the record and selling it as a painting.
For Jean-Michel Jarre, this rebellious move made total sense. Already from the beginning, he had challenged the established norm. Back when disco ruled the charts, Jarre used the synthesizer to create something more abstract, seeing music as a collage of sounds rather than the traditional verse, chorus, bridge.
My idea was to create a bridge between experimentation and pop music, to create a kind of soundscape.
But over the years, Jarre witnessed music becoming more and more commodified, mass-produced, to the point of losing its artistic value, and he saw this new project as an opportunity to make an important comment on this evolution.
L'idée m'est venue vraiment totalement en protestation, en acte de protestation vis-à-vis de ce qui est en train de se passer dans l'industrie de la musique. On commençait à vendre la musique comme des biens consommables, c'est-à-dire comme un pot de yaourt, comme un tube dentifrice, dans les supermarchés.
When presenting the idea to the record label, they were, quote, shocked. A single copy record was something unheard of in the music industry. The heads of Polydor, who handled Jarre's international distribution, weren't happy either.
Un disque d'or en Angleterre.
Jarre was a best-selling artist all over Europe, and they saw this little stunt as a missed opportunity for a huge cash cow. But despite the pushback, in the end, the president of Jarre's label, Francis Dreyfuss, gave the go-ahead. Jarre proceeded to record roughly 30 minutes of music between February and May. He fittingly titled the project Music for Supermarkets, presumably a nod to Brian Eno's groundbreaking Music for Airports. Jarre also conceptualized the inner sleeve of the record. Through a series of Polaroids, it documented the timeline of the unusual album's making.
I conceived the whole cover was a series of Polaroids showing the whole process of the recording, where I wrote the music and the mixing and all the officials. Checking that it's only one copy that's going to be made and all this.
The final space was left blank, reserved for a shot of the album's future owner. Everything was ready to go.
Vente aux enchères pas comme les autres. Demain, à l'hôtel Drouot, entre autres œuvres d'art, on mettra en vente un disque de Jean-Michel Jarre.
The auction was held on the 6th of July in Paris. After all the art from the exhibition had been auctioned off, the moment everybody was waiting for had finally come. The album's master tapes were ceremoniously burned in front of the audience and members of the press, emphasizing the LP's uniqueness as the only existing copy in the world. The bidding then started at 50 francs, and it quickly escalated.
69 000. 69 000. Ah, monsieur dans l'allée à gauche. 69 000. 69 000. 69 000 pour le euro.
The final price ended up being a staggering 69,000 francs, roughly $10,000 back then, and adjusted for inflation, about $30,000 today, making it hands down the most expensive new album ever sold at the time. Based on the first reports, the lucky buyer, a real estate dealer by the name of Mr. Girard, had purchased the album as a collector's item, but it was later revealed that he had actually suffered a coma from a car accident, and the first piece of music he heard on the radio when he awoke was Jarre's track Souvenir of China. According to Jarre, Mr. Girard told him that
I need to get this piece of music because this music brought me back to life.
Qu'est-ce que vous allez en faire? Conserver en souvenir de mon ami Jarre, que vous connaissez personnellement et intimement.
while it's a beautiful closure, demonstrating the healing power of music, the story doesn't end there. Shortly after the auction, Jarre headed down to Radio Luxembourg to introduce his unique creation for a one-time only radio broadcast. The whole album was to be played live on air. "Piratez-moi!" Jarre exclaimed. "Pirate me!"
That night, you have no second chance. So, I mean, the record has been played actually only once on the radio. So.
An estimated 400,000 people tuned in to listen to the exclusive album. Several bootlegs have since been made from the broadcast, though all in very poor quality, as it was transmitted through AM rather than FM. Whether this was intentional or not, we don't know. While technically being one of the rarest albums ever made, Jarre would later recycle bits and pieces from Music for Supermarkets on the records Zoolock and Rendezvous. But more than the actual music, what makes Music for Supermarkets truly unique is its remarkable story and what the album represents. It's a testament to Jean-Michel Jarre's role as a boundary-pushing musician, transcending what's possible as a recording artist. The concept of a single copy record was something unheard of in the music industry. The live destruction of the master tapes, being a piece of performance art in itself, even channeled the likes of Banksy and his little stunt Love is in the Bin, only 35 years earlier, and the whole pirating thing was yet another industry-defying move by Jarre, giving away his music for free and encouraging people, even, to steal it. All this long before torrent and streaming were household names. Though not everyone was as positive, like Wu-Tang Clan also did years later, Jarre faced criticism from fans thinking it selfish to press only one copy. But whether you see music for supermarkets as just a publicity stunt or a bold statement against the commercialization of music, you can't deny that the record really defines Jar as a visionary artist.
The idea of music being art, of music being a work of art and a piece of art, and not something that's just 50 canned goods on the shelf. You know what I mean? That's what this is all about.